Electrical is all rated. The wiring, the size of the wire, is rated for the current or the amperage that goes through that wire. Okay, so you got smaller wire, thicker wire, and it's all rated at different levels, okay? Now, for the size wire you have that goes into a breaker or a fuse, that also has to be the right amp fuse, okay? So if you're using a number 12 wire and it can handle 30 amps, well then you use a 30 amp breaker, okay? But if you're using a number like, I don't know, 16 wire or 18 wire, okay? And it calls for a 20 amp fuse and you put a 30 amp fuse, you're risking,
What's the reason for having something have more power? I mean, there's a limited number of power and amperage
Well,
that's
you
going
get
around the car
droppage too.
anyways.
You get droppage. So if you have this wire here, okay, and it's ran to the front of the car,
Correct. You're losing.
You're gonna lose voltage.
As it goes towards the front of the car.
And it's gonna drop, yes. So sometimes it is bigger, but you gotta know what kind of what drop you're gonna have, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You still need to run the proper fuse or, proper size wire for the voltage or the amperage going through the wire. So Junior just made this for me. And basically what it's gonna do is it's gonna go under here.
Oh, and hold all of the components.
Yep.
Gotcha, all right.
As well as, it's supposed to also seal off
Water underneath,
yeah.
weather underneath water, whatever it is.
Oh, there it goes. Yeah, pretty much goes like that. So I'm gonna weld it to the other one that bolts up in there, that holds this buzz bar.
Gotcha.
I hate green tape everywhere. But I do need to make sure that this fits correctly. Actually fits pretty nice. Dang, Lord. Kid's got skills. Take a little off of these. There you go, there's a little compartment. I'll put all the fuses in and so depending on where all the how the wires are routed in, that's where we'll mount those and how thick, you know what I mean? Because you want it to look nice and clean. We got some pretty thick cable going in there. And then we'll probably put like a cover over it, like yay.
Just to really try and protect it from
Yeah, from the elements, but we don't want to take away from
The motor setup?
Yeah, the motor look either. So we're gonna put I'll probably come down a little lower with this, just so it covers it. But if you look in the engine bay, you still see the motor.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. I don't want to lose that, because we've worked so hard at making it look so simple, and
Yeah.
and I know Tim wants to see the motors, so. But you kind of get the gist. That keeps it out of the weather.
Yep.
Bodie's drawing up the other side, which will be a little trickier because the steering's going to have to go through it.
Oh, so there's going to be one on each side.
Yeah, because you have one for the grounds as well. It's not as much, so it doesn't have to take up as much room, but it's still going to have one. So.
By ground, do you mean that it's the 12 volt, not the 120 volt system?
Both.
Oh, it's both.
Well, yeah, you got to ground.
Oh.
Ground's the most important part of any electricity. Yep, you gotta have ground. So, if you don't have ground on this thing, he's got his arm out the window, he could get a jolt. Yeah, see, a little lower?
Yeah. It's a little bit more on the motors.
Yeah, probably a lot lower.
Yeah.
But I'll kind of follow this.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Probably smaller still, you know what I mean? Should give us plenty of room for all the wiring behind there.
Yeah.
You know?
We'll hide it nicely.
Then you have the inner fender that goes right here.
Yep.
You should be able to see the motors. Paint the covers black, it'll disappear.
Yep.
You know, motors will still stand out. Now we'll wait to see what Bodie builds over here for this one. Yeah.